Alright, hi everybody. My name is Colby Ross. I'm co-founder and CEO of Project Finance. So we exist to answer a question I've asked myself over and over again for a number of years, and that is, can I afford to do the things that I want to do and still pay my bills? It's a question that Susie Orman has built an entire show around, and a question that first hit me when I was starting my junior year of college at the University of New Hampshire. I was moving out of the dorms, coming off the meal plan, and for the first time in my life, I was going to be responsible for paying for my rent, paying for utilities, buying food. And so I did what I feel like no college student does anymore. I went out and got a job. So now I've got a paycheck, I've got money coming in, I've got money going out, and things are good. But naturally, other things always come up, right? My car needs an oil change, a new video game comes out that I want to buy, my friends are going on a ski trip, and I certainly want to join. And I would always ask myself, can I afford this additional expense and still pay my bills? Right? I'm a college student, I'm working part-time, living on a budget. But every time I tried to figure out if I could pay for this additional expense, the math, the mental accounting was always difficult for me to do in my head. I'm a visual person, so I needed some way to see the inflows, see the outflows, to know if I could afford this additional expense or not. So one day something had come up, I forget what it was, but I jumped into Microsoft Excel and I started putting in my income and my expenses, and I kept going, and I got to a point where I could forecast my future bank account balance based on a sequence of recurring incomes, a sequence of recurring expenses. So when a ski trip would come up, I could plug in that expense into this Excel document, and I could quickly see if my bank account balance was going to go negative. So this was a savior for me, and ultimately became the way that I would manage my personal finances going forward. So graduate college, got a real job, got employee benefits, got married, and my own life and my own career began to grow in complexity along with my personal finances. So now I've got to save for retirement, I've got to pay off all this student loan debt, I eventually want to buy a house, and I still want to answer the same question that I've had all along, which is, can I afford to do the things that I want to do and still pay my bills? So about 2 years ago, I realized that I wasn't the only person that was asking this question, and I wasn't the only person that was struggling with dealing with the complexities of personal finance, and that other people were looking for a tool that could organize their money, show them their money in a simple graphical way, that could help them plan for and get guidance around the big decisions that they faced in their life, and that could help them see the future, and that could help them answer the question of, can I afford to do the things that I want to do and still pay my bills? So this is the genesis of Project Finance. So Project Finance is a personal finance application that will show users the future of their finances based on all the choices and decisions that you can make today. So I'll jump into the demo now. This is a demo user logging into their accounts that they've already got set up. So you can quickly see in a glanceable way, as soon as you come in, your total cash accounts, your credit cards, your loan accounts, your investments, and your retirement accounts. Within our retirement section, we've got a retirement planner where you can see if you're on track or not, and what you need to do in order to get there. Within the loan section, so all these accounts are sort of, you can interact with them. So I can jump into one of the loan accounts here. So within this loan account, I can see payment details, and I can explore the effect of contributing different amounts towards this particular account. So I can see when the loan will be paid off, I can see how many contributions I have left remaining, I can see the interest that I'm saving by contributing more or less, and I can see the tax implications of my decision. And so the most important part of the application, really our differentiator, is the future look section on the right. And so what this does is it shows a user's total cash out into the future and total net worth out into the future based on all the choices and decisions that they're making today. So across every account, based on how much money you're making, what you're doing with your employee benefits, as well as your spending patterns and behaviors, where are you going to be out in the future? So I can now answer that question of, can I afford to do the things I want to do and still pay my bills? The other section we've got is a cash flow section. I'm going to try to hurry up here. This will show users in a more granular detail the various income and expense items that they've got going on a month-over-month basis. We've got a goals section where users can set goals, track their progress towards those goals. We've got a net worth section where users can see at sort of a 20,000 foot view how their assets and liabilities are tracking over time. And I want to thank you for your time. So we are about 7 months into this. We're in a private beta now. I'd welcome any of you to sign up. And so take questions, so appreciate it.
How do you compare to something established like Quicken?
So we are trying to compete with Quicken. Yeah. So our differentiator, I believe, is the forward-looking nature of the application. A lot of existing products, Mint being a big one, are very much historical. The vantage point is you're looking backwards in time, and so we believe the past is the past. You can't do much about that. So our tools show you what you need to do to get on track and be where you want to be in the future.
You had both in your example. Are you able to handle two-factor auth?
Yeah, so we're using a third-party API to handle all the account aggregation. So from a security standpoint, a privacy standpoint, that's completely outsourced to this third-party company. You can sign up, but we don't ask your name. We don't store any of your data. So we're very conscious about those two issues.
What's the main difference between project finance and Wealthfront, for instance? Because it does have a future outlook option as well, where it tells you where you're going to be at what point in the future based on what you're doing right now for savings purposes. All your accounts gets aggregated in there as well. What's the main difference between those two platforms?
Yeah, so Wealthfront is close to what we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, their primary focus is robo-advice, investment management. I think a lot of the planning tools are centered around retirement, where we can handle any account. So it could be an HSA account, it could be a student loan account, it could be an auto loan. We're trying to be more comprehensive than sort of the existing solutions out there.
So what's your revenue model?
We're trying to figure that out. So we're talking to our beta users now. About 50% will pay for our product today, which we're pretty excited about. On average, about $50 a year, which is in line with what Quicken is charging. And then another 30% will pay when we build in a more robust budgeting feature, more in line with what Mint has. And that's in the works right now. But we're exploring sort of the B2C side today with sort of a SaaS-based revenue model.
So how are you capturing transactional data so that you can model current expenses and what you anticipate there to be? Somebody have to enter them in all the time, or are you just downloading from the bank?
Yeah, so as soon as you link an account, we pull through the API, your balance information, all those transaction details, so you don't actually have to input anything manually. It's all sort of captured and categorized for you.
Minus the visual components, what can I do with project finance that I couldn't do with, say, an Excel spreadsheet?
So with an Excel spreadsheet, you're not connected to the internet. So this was actually the problem I had before I started the company. Is I was using Mint for account aggregation, and then I was using Excel to do scenario planning, forecasting, modeling. And just the monotony of having to enter in all of that information, transaction details as well, the time savings with what we're doing was big for me. So I think that's the biggest sort of difference. Obviously with Excel you have a lot more, you can customize a lot more, but you're entering in all that data manually.
So in terms of as a user, I'll be very worried with the SaaS model of you kind of having a lock-in on my projection for what are the things that I want in the future. So maybe recommendation would be just to have one-time lump payment and you install it as a plugin or whatever. So, but the question is, you can get past transactions from the bank, that's great, but the future transactions are tricky because you have mark-to-market, you have assets that are varying in value, like a house, but they have to be connected to some sorts of valuation.
Yeah,
and input from the user matters because there's no unless you have some AI algorithm that projects to the future, helping the user, it's still requiring a lot of input.
Totally. So a couple things. So we're using Zestimate for home valuation. as far as sort of transactions out into the future, we've got a machine learning algorithm that goes in and looks at recurring transactions. So that was fairly easy to build and deploy. So we're doing that, but we also give you sort of full control over entering future expenses. So if you owe your buddy $100 2 months from now, you could put that in.
On your Excel spreadsheet, you have a line item to include the cost of project finance and also for any bonuses.
Yeah.
Repeat, please.
You're talking about in the income section, could you put in your bonus as well? Yeah, totally. So she asked if within the income section where you're putting in your employee income, could you put in a bonus as well, and we do handle that.
And also for your cost, to have your expense to include you as part of your budget.
Oh yeah, totally.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.